everyone and welcome back to my channel. I know I've been not active on here for like half a year, but this is such a monumentous occasion I felt like I had to come back, and I do actually want to get back into content creation. And I know I say that every single time that I come back on here and then disappear for another like half a year, but I mean it this time, I swear to God. Okay, let's get into this. So Marilyn Manson has been my favorite band, I'd say, and yes, I still call them a band because even though I know they haven't technically been a band since like 2003, I don't know, I still feel whatever. So Marilyn Manson's released a new single for One Assassination Under God Chapter 2, and I want to react to the music video and the song obviously and give my thoughts and analysis and review. And you might be thinking, Violet, why do you think that you have any credentials to discuss Marilyn Manson on an analytical or introspective level? Well, not only do I have his artistry tattooed on me, but also, you know, just the tip of the iceberg on my Manson physical media and memorabilia collection. I have a lot of this man's merchandise, arguably too much, but that's the conversation for another day. That, and also I would need more than 10 fingers to count the amount of times that he has been my top artist, like either monthly or yearly when it comes to like Apple Music stats and all that shit. I was in his like top 1,000 listeners last year, which the fact that we're getting a new album this year, it's gearing up to be looking like some more of the same. Anyway, let's pull up this goddamn music video because I love a Marilyn Manson music video. And let's see what's happening, because the music video rollout for Chapter 1 of One Assassination Under God was cunt. It was so cool. And I am hoping that since Chapter 1 did so well for Nuclear Blast, that they're going to give them a bit higher budget for Chapter 2 and the music videos. That'd be really cool. Let's check this shit out. I am so excited. And also, I had my eye on the Chapter 2 like big box set. And if I decide that I want to spend another £100 on this man, then I will definitely do an unboxing when it comes. But I'm still debating that because low-key that's a lot of money for me to be spending on a whim. Right off the bat, love this imagery, and also I'm pretty sure this is the image, if I'm not mistaken, that's going to be on the HMV exclusive CD for Chapter 2. Very cool. Love this look. It's very, I was about to say like Knights Templar, but it's not exactly Knights Templar, but it's very like medieval. I like it. It also, I like how it has the eyes cut out. It kind of reminds me of the Mickey Mouse Gimp look from Golden Age of Grotesque. Right off the bat, I love the way that Tyler Bates produces some of Manson's more like industrial or kind of Cynthia songs. Like Meet Me in Purgatory was one of my highlights from Chapter 1 because of how nicely and kind of dancey the synths are. This is very industrial. It's very I don't want to get into the Antichrist Superstar comparisons too quick, but there are definitely some like reminiscent aspects, especially with the kind of the way the sounds and the bass line feels very kind of stretchy. I like it a lot. Also, if you catch that, the way that the guitar goes, like it opens up and it's very kind of corky. It's very like slightly psychedelic, and it already reminds me of the way that Daisy Berkowitz would play in like the Portrait up until Antichrist era, and that's going to be expanded upon with the main riff. I have heard the song before, so I'm just going over points that I've been mulling over because I stayed up to listen to it on midnight launch, because of course I did. Oh, that reminds me of the Sweet Dreams music video, the way that everything's pulsating. That's very cool. Also the custom drums and the Heaven Upside Down. Here's an example on my hoodie. The upside, like is it the Cross of St. Peter? I think it's a Cross of St. Peter. But this imagery that he's been using since I think around Heaven Upside Down. This kind of symbol became very associated with Manson in like 2017 onwards. Love it a lot. And Girl, come on, let's just get a round of applause for how fucking good shape he's in. I am so happy that this man got sober. And no shade, but Ozempic and a facelift, oh girl, it goes a long way. There's tea. Yeah, okay, the guitar tone and the sound and the riff itself reminds me a lot of Daisy Buckwitz. This is a very kind of Worm Boy-esque riff. I'll put some reference here. This is exactly what it sounds like to me, and I like it a lot. Clock that, Tim Scott's back on bass. I have missed this man so much. We have not had Tim Scott and Marilyn Manson since 2007 to 8, I believe, when he was doing Eat Me, Drink Me, which, underrated fave, by the way. Eat Me, Drink Me and High and the Flow especially, top tier shit. So good. Everyone in the Manson fandom needs to stop hating on them. Maybe they're not, you know, mechanical animals, but they're still so good. Great to see Scott back on bass. Him and Manson both look exactly the same as they do from like the early 2000s. That's crazy work. These men are vampires.
The eyes of the vulture upon me, the whispering of leeches in my ear.
Immediately. Okay. The vocal effects from chapter 1 are back. Now, I was not the biggest fan of the overly auto-tuned sound to a lot of the vocals in chapter 1. Weirdly enough, on As Sick as the Secrets Within, I couldn't actually, like, they weren't that bad. But on songs like, I think it's Race a Red Flag and Sacrilegious especially, get a bit egregious. But I think when he uses, like, his kind of raspier, lower, kind of, dare I say, like, kind of sexier, more like ASMR voice, they actually gel quite well. It's just when he really, like, belts and sings, it confuses me as to why so many effects are being put on his voice, especially at this point in his career when his voice is actually in the best shape it's been in for a while. So we'll just, yeah, we'll mull over that, and I'm sure that alongside chapter 2, the entire album, I'm sure it won't actually be as grating, but, like, coming back to it, it's like, I forgot how crazy it sounds sometimes. One other thing I'll say about production though is that I really like how the drums have that kind of, it almost reminds me of Angel with the Scabbed Wings, just a little bit.
Ventriloquist scratched his name across my wrist. Paparazzi starting to cheer. Take your picture at the scene of the crime. We got your victim and we made
Yeah, it's already starting to get a little, like, the auto-tune is already getting a little bit crazy. Just a bit. Like, come on now. I think, what was the example from chapter 1 that was, like, super crazy? It was it was Cadaver Dogs Already Know Your Face, Why Pretend in a Room Full of Fakes, Something Made Up for Idiots to Praise Losers Love Liars to Their Dying Day. That verse, the autotune is so crazy, and if you haven't clocked it before, I implore you, or if you haven't listened to that song in a while, I implore you to go back and listen to the second verse of Race a Red Flag and see how crazy the vocal effects sound on this man. Because he does not need them, that's the thing. And so many of my favourite Manson songs are, like, the more kind of raw, quite, like, boisterous, like, screamy, chaotic. So I think with that kind of cadence, I don't really think that the autotune is necessary. I think what he thinks, or what Tyler Bates thinks, at least, is that, because he's the one who's producing both chapter 1 and chapter 2, I think that he thinks that because the album is a lot more industrial than Manson's been in a while, like, obviously We Are Chaos was very kind of like country goth, and Heaven Upside Down was very kind of rock and roll, and then not Heaven Upside Down, just said that, and Pale Emperor was very bluesish, and so it was not a necessary addition. But because chapter 1 and chapter 2 of One Assassination Under God are both quite industrial, I think that he thought it was necessary when it really isn't. And I mean, like, Manson's used autotune before in music, I mean, who hasn't? But it never really sounded, I could never really clock it that much, but here it's a little crazy. I love that we're also getting a return, and we'll hear this later on in the song more. I love that we're getting a return to Manson doing hard vocals. Yes! Like, screams were very sparingly used on chapter 1, which I get it, because I think that album was a lot more emotional, and I think that this album is going to be a bit more aggressive. But chapter 1 used screams very sparingly. I think the standout scream was the assassination scream in the title track of One Assassination Under God. Other than that, screams like really just one in that album, and they're used in like quite a big way in this entire song, which we'll see later. So I'm very excited for, also because I mean Front Toward Enemy has been put on the official track list for chapter 2, which I'm very excited about. Front Toward Enemy getting an official release, period, as it deserves. Such a good song, and it was too good to be a B-side. I'm sorry, because that song is where Manson has sounded the most Manson in like a hot minute. Like that sounds like straight out of Antichrist Superstar, but just a bit more polished. Like Front Toward Enemy to me sounds like an Antichrist Superstar outtake that had like Gold Major Grotesque production, and it has so like it just, I get why it wasn't put on chapter 1, because obviously I think Not If You Understand fills that role, but I'm so glad that it's getting an official release.
Turn off the spotlight, who's got
I think you know what I'm gonna say. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard, but it is just a little bit crazy. With all love and respect to Manson and his team and to Tyler Bates and whatever, it sounds a little bit unhinged. Like it just sounds a bit much.
will you be? Will they want you if your hands are clean?
That's the thing, you can clearly hear like a lot of personality in the vocal delivery, and like a lot more actually than chapter 1. I mean chapter 1, even his delivery was like slightly more robotic than it sounds here, but like yeah, the vocal effects really are kind of squashing a bit of that like rawness and a bit of that energy, which I think is really unfortunate. But I mean music video wise, it's very like current Manson-esque. I mean this is like very much in line with the chapter 1 music videos. It's very sleek, very put together, very professional, in a kind of whimsical, slightly gothic way.
Bleeding, I'm not healing soon. He shot the world, I am the exit wound.
Now that's a great example of what I was talking about when I said that like his lower register actually gels quite well with the vocal effects, but his higher register or his belts really don't. Because like, did you hear that? I'll play that again.
He shot the world, I am the exit wound.
The "you shot the world and" sounded very like mechanical, but then "exit wound" flowed out in a really nice kind of smooth and kind of sultry way. So I think that if they were so insistent on the vocal effects, if they just left it to the lower register parts of the songs, I don't think anyone would really low-key notice. It's just because it's used on parts where he's either singing instead of kind of sing-talking, or on parts where he is like belting or screaming, where it sounds just quite tinny and a bit rattly. And it's a shame because he's got such a good and unique voice, and so just squash that kind of just. I think all of these songs are like will sound so much better live, and I'm really hoping that he does a tour around where I live soon, because I would love to hear these songs live, because I think that it would actually make me appreciate them a lot more than the studio recordings. Could we get a round of applause in a moment for the hard vocals? I mean, I say hard vocals, it was really just a scream, but like still nice, and it reverberates nicely in the mix. I think the screams are actually mixed very well. Ooh, I mean, this is obviously where the single artwork came from. This is very striking. I like this a lot. It feels very kind of expressionistic with the way that it's like one moment of light in like this very dramatic vignette. Very, 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 very nice. See, you can hear a lot more of the kind of his vocal personality come out there, and I like that a lot. I like that. Yes, this is really nice. I think the song on chapter 1 that had probably the most personality was either Not If You Understand, just because it was so aggressive, or maybe A Six of Secrets Within. Ironically enough, even though Sacrifice of the Mass is like the big ballad of that album, again, the vocal effects are so much in that song that it really squashes the power and like rawness of that song. I would, if anyone who's like a whiz at like mixing and mastering, if anyone can remaster this album with like to try and tune down the goddamn vocal effects, then I would stream the hell out of that. I would love the hell out of that. That's the only problem that I have with the song, genuinely, and it's just because it's quite a distracting aspect of the entire experience. Other than that, love it.
Ballerina bayonets slice us up with pirouettes. Mouth is shut on hand grenade. Take your picture at the scene of the crime.
I mean, can we get just a moment for the face card? A moment for the face card. Genuinely incredible. This man is 57 years old. That's insane. Insane. He looks amazing.
We got your victory, we made up your mind. Turn off the spotlight, whose God will you be? Well, they want
That's really interesting. I just caught that the melody of the turn out the spotlight, which God will you be, really reminds me of Take Your Hatred Out on Me, Make Your Victim My Head, from Tourniquet.
take your hatred out on me. Turn off the spotlight, whose God will you be? Can't stop the bleeding, I'm not healing soon. He shot the world, I am the exit wound. Can't stop the bleeding, I'm not healing soon. Can't stop the bleeding, I'm not healing soon.
This is what I mean by it sounds very Angel with the Scabbed Wings-esque, like the off-kilter, slightly kind of tribal drum. The way that he's screaming is very Antichrist Superstar. Like, he has some different scream cadences. Like, obviously he has his iconic like growls, but the kind of banshee wails are so Antichrist Superstar. Really reminds me of this specific moment from The Reflecting God. This is what it reminds me of, like the You Shot the World. I mean, the whole imagery of guns and guns, God, government, very Hollywood, but also very reflecting God. That like twangy, open, kind of stretchy guitar tone come back. It's very, very One Boy, that tone there. I like it a lot. I really hope that we get some more of that kind of Berkowitz style of riffing and that guitar tone, more so in chapter 2. And that was Exit Wound. I would say my rating for it currently, I've listened to this song quite a lot, and alongside the music video, I'd say solid like 7 to 8 out of 10 for me right now. Leaning more towards 7, just because I think right now it's feeling more 7, but could go to an 8. First of all, alongside the rest of the album, of course, and second of all, once I just get used to the fucking auto-tune. But no, this I like a lot. Very solid, very well done. Can't wait to hear more, and hopefully second single comes out soon, and album itself is coming out 14th of August. So close to my birthday. So close to my birthday. I'm so excited, and yeah, I hope the rest of it is... I think this sets a good bar of what I want this album to be at its weakest, if that makes sense. I want like this level and more, and elevated, and I think that obviously Manson is very, very, very capable of that. So love you and leave you. I will probably Actually, no, I definitely will. Like, I'll, like, for the next single, I will definitely also do this kind of video. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon.